Hello, all, and welcome to Anime Declassified, presented by AnimeSecrets.org. My name is Rizwan, the head honcho of AnimeSecrets.org, and we are coming at you today with episode 1 of Chainsaw Man. So we're going to be giving you all our initial thoughts on the newly released anime on Crunchyroll. But I'm not by myself. Today I'm joined by the evergreen, the ever amazing, everyone's favorite Green Ranger, Anthony Davis.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. How y'all doing today?
And we're also joined by that old man on the porch, the one who yells at you to get off and get away with all your new animes. Uh, None other than Clarissa.
Back in my day, we used to watch things on the VHS tapes, and you had to rewind them.
Yes, we
Uh,
know. We know.
Man, Grandpa, you need to take a nap. All right, so like I said, we're here today to delve into episode 1 of Chainsaw Man. It's a new anime on Crunchyroll. It just came out as of this recording, I think 2 days ago. And so we decided we would try and do an initial thoughts video podcast, kind of delving into what are we expecting, what are we hoping for, and what did we think of episode 1. But I'm going to hand it off to Anthony to kind of lead this little podcast deal because he's the reason I got into watching this. He posted
Yes.
he posted a thing on social media 2 nights ago, and I was very interested in what he put about it being really good. So I figured, what the heck? I had 20 minutes. Let me check this out. And here we are now doing a podcast because we all liked it. So, Anthony, have fun.
Alrighty. So, basically, what is that? Chainsaw Man was actually created by Tatsuki Fujimoto back in December of 2018, and now this anime did not get announced until I think about last year. I want to say it was super hype. I was like, "Yo, I recently got into Chainsaw Man. I think actually like a few months ago. Like actually no, I think almost 7 months ago. I want to say I read pretty much everything up until the point. It's really good. You guys should just check it out. If you don't read the manga, I mean, obviously it's fine because like the anime, you can just watch anime if you want to. But it's out there, and every Tuesday, I don't know when I don't know when it comes on, but it'll stream on either Hulu, Crunchyroll, or whatever. Check it out when you can on Chainsaw Man Tuesdays. We start the story off actually with this boy. His name is Denji. Now Denji, he has a really messed up life. His father just offed himself. He's in debt to the mafia, and now he has to encompass all his debt. He meets this very interesting devil that looks like a dog, but with a chainsaw on its head. They form a little pact. They've been working together ever since. Uh, Denji says, "Hey, like if I know you're hurt, if I feed you my blood, then we can I guess work together, and like I can feed you and can give you shelter, comfort, whatever, and we just fight devils together because in this society, these creatures called devils exist. There is more lore to it, but I'm not going to spoil any of these guys for it because I want to wait and let them figure out for themselves how that whole devils thing works. But for the story here, so Denji, like we said, is in debt to the Yakuza. Um, it's got so bad to the point where he literally had to donate his eyeball and one of his testicles just to be able to even like pay off whatever debt that this kid owes to the mafia. And at a certain point during with him and Puchta, which is the name of the chainsaw creature that he works with, that fights devils with. Um, there's an instant. There was a something happens to where Denji ends up getting betrayed by the Yakuza, and he is brutally just eviscerated by not only the Yakuza, but they're being controlled by this zombie devil, which basically he just gets stabbed in the back. He gets stabbed several times. They cut his body parts up and dump him in the dumpster. And the only way Denji managed to even come back from all that is when a drop of blood gets into Puchita's mouth, and he ends up giving his heart. He made his body into Denji's heart. So now him and Denji are basically one entity. And with the ripcord that was his tail, that Puchita's tail, he rips that off, and he can actually turn into Chainsaw Man, which he ends up getting like a whole chainsaw head and chainsaws on his arms, and he's just eviscerating this zombie devil, only to be later found by the devil hunters, who are the titular characters who basically they save people from devils and whatnot. This woman named Makima finds him and says, "Hey, I can give you shelter. I can either kill you as you are as a devil, or I can give you shelter." And then she's like, "Well, if you give me shelter, what are you gonna feed me?" And she's like, "Just breakfast essentials like coffee, uh, bread on jam, salad, coffee, all that good stuff." And he's like, "Dude, sign me up. I'm definitely down for that." And that's where
Oh
our
yeah,
story.
because there's that bit earlier he talks about oh man, we're so poor, we're only having a slice
One slice of bread.
One slice of
for
bread.
each,
Yeah.
sharing the bread.
Yeah.
Well, he's sharing in the bread with him. He's like, oh man, I hear rich people put butter and jam on their bread. That would be so great.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
felt so bad for them.
I know, right? I kind of wanted to bridge the topic. I didn't want to just go on and a tangent. And just I want to kind of get through the meat and potatoes of the whole thing, and then we just talk about what happens overall. Afterwards, after I get my synopsis up.
Yeah.
So, give your guys thoughts on what you guys think.
So I walked into this episode having zero idea what this is about. Literally, I just saw Anthony put somewhere on the media that Chainsaw Man was really good, favorite anime of the season, blah, 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 whatever. And my reaction was, those are some pretty big praises for an anime coming from my boy Anthony. Therefore, it's something that I should probably give a chance in at least episode 1 and see what happens. And well, I like this a lot. It was really well done. It it clenches at your heartstrings in just the right way to give you to empathize with Denzi and his predicament. Because you can kind of feel the emotion of, I have so much debt that I have to sell my eyeball and my other stuff to even make a small dent. And the problem was, whenever he was saying that, he only made probably less than $1 million selling all that stuff, and his debt's exponentially greater than that. So he's stuck with this debt for life, basically, unless he finds a way to just make it rich real quick and miraculously pay off what was it, 32 million yen?
I think it was 32 million.
Yeah. So it really pulls at the heartstrings of, man, this is a crappy situation for anyone to be in. To be that decrepitly poor, and
Oh, and don't even get me started on the whole thing with one of the Yakuza members was saying "Hey, dude, put this cigarette in your mouth and I'll give you 100 yen for it." He's like,
dude,
"Bet." All right, and then
yeah,
he just. But I did like the fact that he didn't actually swallow it. He just kind of just had in his mouth and just kind of took it out and just.
yeah,
He's like, "Ha! I tricked him. I tricked him. Gotcha."
yeah. But hey, that gave him food, and that was
Yeah.
all he needed. And I think the most interesting and depressing part was he loves his companion enough to split the food down the middle
Mhm.
because that shows a lot of empathy there. Clarissa, what do you think?
I really liked it. It was a very good, first episode. Very good presentation, very tight. There was, they're easing us into the world. All that we know about the demons is that there are different types. They exist in the world, and people can make money off killing them.
Yep.
And that's all we really need to know. And it's not like, say, Demon Slayer, where you have these, there are factions and organizations and big names and factions, spends like that, and the big names in there. There's quite a bit to pay attention to in Demon Slayer. But so far in Chainsaw Man, it's just, they focused very solely on. It was interesting because it's very solely just the main. It's Denji, it's Pochita, and his enemies. And it's
Mhm.
only at the end that Makita shows up. And I thought it was cool that they narrows what do we usually have in shows like this. The main character shows up maybe with his little animal or buddy, and then he's got a couple of friends that he meets, or he goes to school. We meet some of his classmates or something like that. We meet more people involved in the day-to-day. We only meet two other actual characters, and they're his enemies, and so mostly it's all focused on him. And I feel like that was what was really nice about that was we get to not have to dwell on them too hard because he gets that first episode to really delve into them, and they're not, it's done pretty much just right. The pacing was really good. I liked everything about it. The action was great. Some people have reservations about the CGI in it. I think it was fine. I thought it was
I
good.
like it too.
Yeah, so you say it was fine. I
It
didn't
was
have problems
perfectly.
with
It was perfectly fine. It was clean. It looked good. I went in kind of blind, but knowing a little bit about it. And I'm pumped for it.
Indeed.
I really like it. Your girl's gonna give it 2 thumbs up.
Hey,
I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 for right now.
I'm
So
definitely giving it 10 out of 10 because, oh my god, like y'all think y'all like this episode? Wait till y'all start seeing the rest of the stuff. Woo, it's gonna get good. Can we just talk about how much of a banger that opening was? Oh my god.
It was a
Yeah,
really
the
good
OP
song.
was fantastic. One of the best I think I have seen. It's definitely one of the best I've seen all season. Only thing I would say in comparison is like Stone Ocean.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a JoJo song. You can't really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't compare the two.
Yeah. So there's another fun fact is that there were actual movie references, not like anything we as far as like what we would know automatically. There were some movie references in the Chainsaw Man opening that not many people would know about, but if you had to look it up, you'd be like, oh, that's what that's from.
I saw a video on Twitter earlier today where somebody actually did a side-by-side comparison of the Chainsaw Man opening with scenes from popular movies, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a pretty entertaining watch. I couldn't believe I didn't notice that the first time around, but yeah,
Either. Because it just looked so everything made sense or belonged. It didn't feel like you know confusing or anything.
yeah.
And I have to say that like the opening didn't really spoil anything besides just a couple of the characters, like showing the characters off. That's it. Everything else was like just
They had
showing
like
off
what?
like the different visuals and stuff.
They had like what? 3 other characters that we were led to believe are going to be main characters down the line, and that's about it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you anything else beyond that yet.
Yeah, that was it.
Maybe that at some point I'll start to see the reference as I watch more, but yeah, there's nothing given away, and that's like, oh, well, this is about that, or just what's going to happen next. You really don't know what's going to happen.
Right. I just love the fact, like the little dance at the end where like Tenji and the other girl was just dancing. It was so amazing.
Yeah.
Like even the characters in the opening know how much of a banger this song is.
But yeah, that's all I had for episode 1. I'm really excited to see episode 2 next Tuesday. I think it comes on Crunchyroll, maybe Wednesday.
Yep, every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited to see that. And I'm thinking we're gonna try and make this a regular occurrence, like once a week. We'll get together and talk about what we saw last week or this past week. Do we have
Definitely.
any like idea of like, is this a 13 episode, a 26, or
I heard it was only going to be 12 or 13 episodes.
okay?
That makes sense. You know, a lot of I think right now with some of the demands that a lot of studios are facing, 12 or 13 is about what they're able to do at a time. I think I remember hearing somewhere that like part of why the way it is because David Production is also doing the Urusei Yatsura reboot. And so they can really only manage to do, 12, 13 episodes at a time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, think about it. Rebooting Urusei Yatsura, that's big. That's
Yeah.
a major, major, major undertaking for anybody. And so, it makes sense that late 90s, early 2000s, that was pretty standard 12 episodes for something. It's a good way, and it's a good way
It
to
was.
tie up an arc or two and then leave it open, not spend too much money, and make it more possible for a second season, I feel.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of the animes back then, in like the early 2000s even, they were primarily all 13 episodes long. But the really popular manga back then, they got the 26 episode treatment to go for basically 2 seasons rather than 1. But you have to be a really good manga, I think, to get that ability. And I'm sure there's a lot of cases where things that were not based off of a manga got it, but I think it's pretty rare that something not based off a manga got that far.
Usually, if you're doing 20, 24, 26 episode contained story, and a lot of times,
Yeah.
they try to wrap it up there. I don't know how much of the manga is out. I mean, obviously, it's been out for a while, 2018, so it's 2022 now, so, been out for a bit. There's probably, I would imagine there's probably plenty of content for them to work with.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
There are 12 volumes as far as like Chainsaw Man is right now.
Okay, yeah, no, so they'd be set for a couple seasons, probably.
Yeah, so they began running the manga in December 2018. So they've been around for a little bit.
Yeah. I think it says here that it's from December 2018 to December of 2020. And I guess they just had a small brief period where they were not going to do much anymore, and then they picked up what the next stuff is going on with Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Oh, so they
moved from Shonen Jump.
they changed. Okay, so they changed publishers. That makes sense.
They went from Shonen Jump Plus to Weekly Shonen Jump.
Yeah. That's what Weekly Shonen Jump.
Same group.
Shonen Jump
Within the group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it. It happens, and it's fine.
And
I haven't watched since
also guys, like,
since I haven't read the manga, and you have. How different was this? Like, how was this compared to how it plays out in the manga?
okay, so in the manga, everything pretty much what I saw on the show is pretty much the same thing with the manga. Like, I don't think they really changed.
I imagine if they
much.
changed anything, they might have toned down some of the gore a little bit, because I imagine this show comes on at like midnight in Japan or something.
Yeah, yeah. So it's pretty dark and graphic. What actually stood out the most was actually the scene where, in the manga, Denji does get apparently it does get stabbed by the zombies and whatnot, but it's a quick like one shot panel where like you just see a whole bunch of like knives and stuff just stabbing into him or whatever. Like it's all black in the background, but like you can see like white like stuff. Just see just bunch of stuff getting just stabbing through his body
Hmm.
in the anime, of course, we already seen this already. They
Yeah,
extend that scene of him getting stabbed by those zombies multiple times. That was an extended scene.
that's
So him
interesting.
getting stabbed and him screaming like
Mhm.
that was
Wow.
all anime only.
Well, then I'm excited to see what artistic liberties they go on and like kind of do to fill things out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And
Oh
I
yeah.
was really like, I was hurting when I saw that because I remember reading mangas like it was like a quick thing. I was like, oh, that's like, oh, then you should have got away, whatever, blah blah. But here you can actually see like him getting stabbed and screaming. It was just, it was
Hmm.
brutal. Like I kind of I almost teared up a little bit because me and my sister were watching it. We were, I was showing my sister for the first time how it looked because she already read the manga too, but like it was
Hmm.
her first time watching it, and I remember we were just like, wow, like that was really like even the second time watching it, I was just like that really hurt me.
It
Like
was you know, it was like it was my Halloween thing that I watched for last night because I went out I went out to a group and hung out at the bar, and so I came back late. I didn't have time to watch. You know, I've been watching a spooky movie every time or every day for
Mhm.
month of October for Halloween. Honestly, Chainsaw Man, great Halloween pick. It's got zombies. It's
It
got
is.
demons. It's got blood and violence and gore. Check it out. And it's it's just it's I like it. Kind of reminds me of Doro Hedoro of like it's just this intense because like look, the thing I love about Chainsaw Man is his design. Like Denji when he's got the chainsaw head in the hands, like it's just a cool design, and it makes me think of like Doro Hedoro, just like really crazy, wild, mechanical, and bio whatever sort of grotesque, sort of crazy. Like it's cool stuff. It's really striking art. I really like it. Hmm.
Yeah.
too. So for you, Riz, what stood out? What scene stood out for you the most?
I think the scene that really got me. So obviously, all the stuff where he becomes Chainsaw Man is really cool, like how Clarissa said. But honestly, the relationship between him and Potato, that entire thing is what really pulled me into this anime
Oh
hard.
yeah.
It wasn't. I mean, okay, yeah, cool. We have another anime about demons. We have another anime about zombies. We have another anime, with horror type things. Cool, awesome. I'll watch it. But the thing that made it um something I want to keep watching every week is we have all the cool stuff like that. Plus, we're getting solid characterization.
Hmm.
And to me, when I'm watching something, if I can't connect with a main character pretty quick, either I stop watching or it becomes a chore. Like there are times when I watch something and I only keep going because I hope it gets better, or everyone else tells me it's really good and I should give it another chance. Um, so and that's if I don't get along with the character. If I do, I'm with you until the end of times. Like that's just the thing. So I'm happy to see strong characterization out the gate.
Oh, big facts.
What about you, Anthony?
Oh, you already know, man. Like the fact that his first meeting with Pochita when he was a little kid, that scene, it always gets me because it's like, wow, like that, like they have been together for a decent amount of time. Because like I said, like I said, Denji was a little boy when he first met him, and he's around 16 as it started the series, of course. So I think he was around what 6, I want to say 6, 7. He looked like around 6 or 7 years old when he went
Mhm.
during the flashback. So he's been with this little chainsaw devil puppy thing for a good minute. So they have
Yeah.
an extremely good bond. And I think what really got me the most was the fact that like Denji was like so just like, oh, I want a better life, but he should have just appreciated the life he had with Puchita, because even though he's broke, he has to deal with the Yakuza, he has to kill devils to make a living, but he still had his little buddy with him.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he didn't take it for granted, but he just kind of he didn't understand that like he had a good thing going up until till they died, and they came back. So because Puchita isn't dead, he's just now Denji's heart. Now that's basically what happened.
Well, I like to think of it like a symbiotic relationship where Denzi might be the one you see conscious more often than not. But I like to think that Pochita's still alive inside him
Yep. Hmm.
and he'll rear his face when the time is right.
Right.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking will happen, but who knows?
Were you also shocked that he could speak? You were like, whoa, he could talk?
Well, I mean, once they become one person, I imagine they can talk because they share the body.
Right.
So to me, it made sense.
Because I always figured he might could have been able to speak, but I just wasn't sure like maybe maybe what my really initial thought when I first read this was that, oh yeah, okay, so he's just pretending like that he's just a cute little chainsaw dog, but like maybe he's more smart than would be led to think.
Hmm.
But you could say this is somewhat akin to, I guess, Naruto and Kurama, but like the relationship is a little bit better because like he's not trying to kill not trying to kill his host.
Yeah. I think something I find very interesting about this is the circumstance of when he took over Denzi's body.
Oh yeah,
Like he didn't take over the body until the body was dead, making the zombie, and that's interesting because he basically breathed life back into him.
hmm Now, I know you recall the flashback where like Denji was telling him like, hey, if something ever happens to me, you can always take over my body.
Yeah.
But he actually chose not to do that because, in all honesty, he could have, just took over his like entire head and just become, Denji's body basically. But he didn't do that. He could have, but he didn't do it.
Hmm.
He's like, I want to see your dreams. I want to see how you accomplish your goals. Like that's what I'm all about.
And that's a hits heavy right there, those words.
Hmm.
Because he's seen the dreams and the ideas and the desires from an early age, and now he wants to see them come true.
Indeed. But like I said, boy, like I said, guys, this is gonna be like a roller coaster of just craziness. But surprisingly, like I said, this is actually a show that actually has a few will have you laughing surprisingly at times. Yeah, sure, there's the gore, the violence, and all that stuff, but there's a little bit of humor every now and then too.
Well, I'm down for some dark humor.
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All I know about Chainsaw Man is just what I've seen on my Twitter feed, and people really like it and like a lot of it. Apparently, it's like characters are big in this, and like and have very good chemistry together. So I'm excited to see everything going on. Like all those people in the opening, the gal with the horns. I want to see all those people. I want to meet them.
Oh yeah.
I hope we do. But that's all I had on this episode. Anthony, you have anything else?
I love Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. Cool. Well, if there's nothing else, we are Anime Declassified, hosted by AnimeSecrets.org, and we are wishing you all a good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you might be when you're listening to this. And be sure to listen to us on Spotify or iTunes. We're on both, along with a couple other podcast places. Check out AnimeSecrets.org for all your needs, and check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and keep on listening. We thank you guys all, and have a good day.